Back in May 2023, myself and Brandy Aguilar went out to United Cerebral Palsy of Central Arizona to do a cool story on a young girl named Charlie Duffy, who was a sophomore in high school, and her recovery from a recent surgery that she had that involved using a brand new zero-G system at their facilities. And that was a cool enough story as is, but once Brandy and I got there and we got to talk to Charlie and her therapist Adelie, we knew there was so much more to the story. We wanted to follow her as she tried to make her way back to the softball field, but over the years since, things have changed. Me and her have talked a lot about we make plans and God laughs. Well, that holds so true for Charlie Duffy. Here's her story.
My name is Charlie Duffy, and I have cerebral palsy.
When Charlie Duffy was 2 years old, she was diagnosed with hemiplegic cerebral palsy, affecting the left side of her body.
When she was first diagnosed, we had no idea what it was. We had no idea about resources.
That's when United Cerebral Palsy of Central Arizona and therapist Adelie Hollum enter the picture.
She was this cute little 3-year-old girl who came in spry and happy and just hilarious. Always up for the challenge and like helping me even figure out fun games that she would want to play.
I've known her since I was 2-3 years old, so I've known her longer than some of my family members.
Charlie's mom, Heather Duffy, recalls how UCP impacted her daughter even at such a young age.
It made her proud to have cerebral palsy. She actually, when she was little, she used to say she had UCP. Because she didn't know cerebral palsy.
One of my favorite memories here, first that I remember, is the rock wall out there. I was always so scared of it, and I probably got this high off the ground, and to me I was on top of the Eiffel Tower. But ever since I came to UCP, you feel so welcome, and I know it was a good peace of mind for my parents too.
When Charlie was 7, she had her first major surgery. A femoral osteotomy, which involved cutting and lengthening both her Achilles tendon and hamstring in her left leg and adding a metal rod to her femur.
And so I was non-weight bearing, I was in a wheelchair, and for a 7-year-old that's a lot to comprehend of how come I could walk yesterday and I can't today. And Adelie did a really good job of explaining it to me, because I feel like a lot of people can kind of hide what's happening from their kid, so their kid doesn't really know, but Adelie laid it all out in front of me.
Within 6 months, Charlie was rolling. By the time she was 10, she was playing in multiple sports and dominating.
And at that point, she was on her way, playing softball, and I remember her dad saying she was faster than the boys in flag football, and it was like, you're on your way.
I was like, well, this is my normal, and that's totally fine. I love having this unique story. But then I had that brief couple years. I was like, well, I'm a normal teenager doing normal teenager things.
Once Charlie was a freshman at Northwest Christian, she was good enough to make the varsity softball team. Right before her first game in 2022, she found out she would need to repeat the same surgery she had when she was 7.
That's the day you've been waiting for since you were little, to be that freshman on varsity. And so we go to the doctor appointment. It was supposed to be a normal doctor appointment, so I didn't go to school first period. And then he told me that I needed the same surgery again. And that crushed me, knowing what I've gone through before, I'm gonna have to do again. And I'm older now, I'm 16, I have friends that I wanna hang out with, I have softball, I kinda wanna be a teenager. And, I cried and cried in that hospital, and just knowing what the future holds.
Around the same time, UCP of Central Arizona was getting a new zero-G gait and balance system thanks to donations from the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation, Arizona Board of Visitors, and Thunderbird Charities. It was the perfect piece of machinery that could aid Charlie in her recovery.
We were going to be getting our zero-G, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is the exact thing that she would need. Getting back into walking and bearing weight with something that's partial weight bearing that's so dynamic. So the zero-G is a partial body weight support system, and so I can designate how much body weight support that I want to offer her.
We started it in the beginning just walking. All my body weight support off so I could walk. And then now I'm using it for much greater things than walking. I'm running with it. I was hitting on it, but it's so nice just to have that little sense of normalcy back.
The immediate goal for Charlie was to get back to the softball field in time for her sophomore season. After all, it only took her 6 months to recover the first time. But there were complications this time around. So in January of 2023, Charlie needed to have a revision surgery with a bone graft.
I definitely want to play on the field again. I think there was a moment in my recovery where I was like, is this really what I want to do? Like, am I going to work so hard to maybe not play again? And that was really hard for me to like make that decision. Like, do I really give up, or am I just kind of feeling down?
Throughout this journey, she's impacted others by being raw on social media, sharing all the highs and the lows.
I used to post all of my highlights, and I'd only post the good ones. You only want to post the ones where you look the best, you look the fastest. And it was one day before PT, I was like just an emotional wreck. Like, I was hurting so bad, and I tried to film a video of me walking, and I was just crying. But I'm like, this is some people's everyday life. And if they look on my page, all they see is happy, awesome. And I was like, that's not what my life looks like every day. So I was like, I realized how many people on social media are faking what they post. So I really made that a point to not fake what I post.
That switch in her platform for me was one of the proudest moments I could ever have.
Sharing her story led to all sorts of opportunities.
We did have the opportunity to go to New York. This teacher just happened to find her one of her stories, and he started to use that as a teaching tool in his classroom, and invited her to come out there.
I always wondered, like, why is my story the one that is out there? Why is my story the one who's getting all this attention? Why not somebody else's who's, maybe cooler or has a better story? Until I saw all of these kids just staring at me in awe and hearing my story and realizing how much I'm impacting them. It made me realize that, like, everything happens for a reason. And if it wasn't for this surgery, if it wasn't for this diagnosis, like, I wouldn't have touched half the amount of people I would have on the softball field alone.
While speaking of her journey with many people, Charlie was still struggling with her goal to play softball again.
I'm done with your guys' deadlines. I'm just gonna play this day by day, and I think that's what I really have been doing ever since, is because you never know what tomorrow can bring. And if you look at tomorrow with expecting something back, you're not gonna get anything in return. Instead, you should look at tomorrow and realize, like, what can I give and what can I do to better myself?
We were following along with Charlie's recovery to see when she would get back on the softball field. However, by September of 2023, she began seeing there is more to life than softball.
I waited so long for this, and I kind of had that, like, perspective change, like, maybe this isn't my plan. This is my plan, but, like, not God's plan for me. And that's something I had to, like, truly accept, and it was not easy. It wasn't something that just clicked overnight. Day by day, I was starting to realize, like, there is way more to life than what I'm keeping in my bubble. And I feel like that surgery is what opened my eyes to it.
As she was mentally preparing for a new chapter, she was battling physical bone pain that was holding back her recovery. In January of 2024, her doctors decided to remove the metal rod in her femur to help alleviate the pain.
Those kind of first couple days was, like, rough because it's like I've been here 3 times in the last, like, 2 years. So obviously I was just tired of that. It was my birthday. I wanted to go out, and I had to stay home.
Now, she was ready to pivot from her goal of playing softball again.
I think every time I have a new surgery, I kind of have new goals and, like, a new outlook. And, like, I haven't been able to run in the last 2 years. Now that I can do these things, and I never want to take them for granted, some days I'll be like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym today. I can just go tomorrow. But then I remember, like, a couple months ago, I couldn't go to the gym. And I remember, like, I have, like, this opportunity to do it. I'm gonna take it.
She made a plan for herself of what she wanted to do and where she was going. Initially, it was fine. We had a plan. She was gonna recover. And as we all know, God throws different things in your path, and for her, it didn't go as planned. And it also showed our family that she can adapt to change.
Within a few months, Charlie was overcoming all the bone pain that slowed her down the last few years. With a fresh perspective and a healing body, she decided to give Pat's Run a try.
So I kind of threw that on Natalie like a couple of weeks before, and she was like, when is it? I'm like, in like 3 weeks, and she's like, okay, like we can make it happen.
And so we were doing a lot of running with our 0G on the treadmill, like spurts of running to like, you know, not only like cardiovascular fitness, but muscular endurance for her. And so did running on the 0G, and then we started doing running on ground and just really working on like the stability.
Yeah, you go. I'll see you later. Good job.
Plan was to run like the last 3 minutes of it, and I ended up running probably like 3/4 of it. I think it was the adrenaline, or I guess I didn't have that high expectations for myself, but I did really well.
Charlie has a few clear pictures of goals in her life. She wants to run marathons one day, and she also wants to go to college to be a pediatric nurse. But for now, she just wants to enjoy her senior year of high school.
My whole high school has been revolved around surgeries. I had my first one freshman year, and then sophomore year, and then junior year. But I'm just so excited to kind of like, if you just be a teenager and you're only a senior in high school once, I just want to make memories with my friends, and then after that, go to college.
I just really love Charlie. She is a unique person that she really brings a lot of joy to me. I love her attitude. I love just her take on life. She's a really faithful girl. Like, I know that it's been a rough road for her. Like, there's been pain and disappointment and things like that. And she just really has risen above.
I don't think like anything prepares you for that last step on the field, that last hit, throw, whatever. I think that you never know when your last day is going to be on that field or that court.
I'm not scared for her future at all. We know we have set this foundation. UCP has helped set this foundation. Her community, all of you, like anybody that's ever supported Charlie has helped set the foundation that I don't have any fear for her going into college, her career. I'm excited, and yeah, I couldn't be more proud, and I have no hesitation. She's gonna do something amazing.
I look around sometimes at physical therapy, and I see kids who will never get the opportunity to have the things I do, and you know, somebody around the world wants to be in my position, and I'm in my position wishing I wasn't. So it's kind of a perspective thing, and I look around seeing kids who will never be able to walk without their crutches or their walker, but they're still trying 3 times harder than me in PT just to get that one possibility, like what if? But I want to be that one that they could look up to so they could have that, you know, chance.